know you heard me on the radio, flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio, flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Is Fury fam furious yet? Are you furious yet if you're a Miami Dolphins fan? Because I sure am. Week 2 and the Dolphins are 0-2, falling to the New England Patriots in the Dolphins home opener 33-27, despite the fact that I got news for you guys. The New England Patriots are not a very good football team. They threw a ball when they should have ran the ball, gifting Miami an extra timeout, and Miami still couldn't capitalize and save themselves. Tua started off really rough. He threw what would have been an interception, except that there were offsetting penalties that negated that interception. I did think that Tua and the Dolphins offense got rolling a lot more like we're used to through much of the second, third quarter. I think that was part of that was because New England just could not keep up helmet on helmet with our guys. Where most teams, we've talked about it, the recipe to beating the Miami Dolphins is taking away Tua's first read. It's taking away the middle of the field. The Patriots just didn't have the horses to do that consistently. We did finally get things going in the middle of the field. Tua, to his credit, he completed, a decent amount of passes deep and outside, which was huge to keep the offense rolling mid-game. But that wasn't enough to overcome, by the way, Tua's first loss ever to the New England Patriots. That's how bad things are getting. Mike Vrabel giving a valiant effort down there, but still made some blunders, I thought. His team was not very well disciplined down there with false starts, penalties after penalties. Miami Dolphins penalties at just inopportune, really bad times for the Miami Dolphins. Final drive of the game, trying to get up with a touchdown, and they get a false start. It pushes them back. It was hard to recover from that. New England turns up the pressure, certainly feeling those injuries along the offensive line. It would be foolish not to reference the injuries along the offensive line. They're certainly hurting us, but that's not the whole story. So it would also be disingenuous to pin this all on the offensive line. This team has issues everywhere else as well. May looking pretty darn good for a lot of that game, especially early on against the Dolphins. The defense had no answers early on, tightened up a little bit as the game went on, which I think was important. Rasul Douglas, like his energy, like what he brings, but no matter what we do, we're going to have some issues there. I think the pass rush, it's not bad, and thoughts with Chop Robinson. He took what looked like was a nasty leg injury, but then jogged off the field. I'm hoping he's okay, but the defense leaves a lot to be desired too. But look, again, back against the wall later in the game. Miami's driving. We're in good position. There's still plenty of time left on the clock. And Tua Tagovailoa throws another inopportune interception. It's endless now. It's consistently happened. It used to just be the big moments, but now we're seeing 2 regular season September 1:00 games where we're getting those errant throws and those problems. There was another play a little bit before that where Tua misses a wide open Tyreek Hill, who had settled right into his zone. Tua's lucky the Patriot player fell down. That could have been an interception. Tua finishes 26 of 32 for 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Respectable numbers for sure. Tua is consistent usually in getting respectable numbers. It doesn't always translate into wins. And so 26 of 32, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, not bad. But the interception came at a really inopportune time. And had there not been offsetting penalties, there would have been another interception. But you can't overall pin this loss on Tua alone. He had a respectable day today, all things being considered. Although, again, critical mistakes where it counts. And even if you're having critical mistakes like that in September at 1:00, forget about not having those mistakes when the lights come on, when it really matters. We go up to Buffalo next week for a warm Western New York welcome, I'm sure. And I don't think that's going to go over very well, considering we can't even beat the Patriots, who they're just not a great football team. I wouldn't even say they're a good football team. We were at home. Tua hadn't lost to them. The Dolphins hadn't lost to them in ages, and yet we lose to the Patriots. Rushing, Devon Achane, 11 carries for 31 yards, only averaging 2.8 yards a carry. Not too great. He had an unfortunate step late in the game that would have been a touchdown that would have won the game, but he did, in fact, step out of bounds. It was clear as day. Even the home crowd knew that he was out. There was no protest from the fans there. Washington, 3 carries for 23 yards, a respectable 7.7 a carry. Gordon, 1 carry for 8 yards. Tyreek Hill, 6 receptions, 109 yards. Achane, 8 receptions, 92. Waddle, 5 for 68. Westbrook, pretty respectable day with his 2 catches for 18 yards. I like the way he added some toughness to the team and some toughness there in general. Dolphins overall, 359 yards to the Patriots, 333. Like I said, the defense was not very good. 297 passing yards to the Patriots, 211. And rushing yards, 62 to the Patriots, 122. So Patriots outdid us there. We were only 4 of 10 on third down. Patriots 7 of 12. 0 of 2 on fourth down for the Dolphins. It's becoming a trend. Mike McDaniel likes to go for it on fourth down, but can't convert, and that's becoming a trend. Let's not forget that this was a 33-27 win, but the Patriots actually missed 2 PATs. So this is more like a 35-27 win, which really would have not put the game out of reach, but the Dolphins would have had the Patriots made those 2 PATs. The Dolphins would have had to score a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion just to tie it at the end. They were lucky enough that the Patriots missed the PATs to be able to possibly win it with a touchdown at the end, but were unable to do that. Some observations about the game day from TV. Look, props to the South Florida fans. There was a banner flying over the stadium bright and early today saying fire Greer, fire McDaniel. Upon the initial, what looked like an interception, and then the incomplete when the Dolphins offense was stagnant early on, the fans had loud boos when we should have had to eat another timeout because the play clock was once again down to 0 in a critical spot. The crowd booed, and the crowd is now subjected to another Miami Dolphins loss. And I think there could be a miracle. I predict, for the record, anybody wants to call me a Debbie Downer or say I'm negative or down or whatever it is, I'm a proud Miami Dolphins fan. I want what's best for this franchise. I was very excited in 23. I was one of the people who wasn't a huge Tua believer, but who took up the mantle in 23 when he was having a good year, just to keep it real, just to keep it 100% and say, you know what? He's having a good year. Let's lay off a little bit. And I predicted that the Dolphins would beat the Colts. And I predicted that the Dolphins would beat the Patriots. Even after they got smacked by the Colts last week, I still predicted a Dolphins win this week. So don't tell me that I'm down on them or I'm just a hater or any of that. I predicted a win today, despite having my doubts about the team, despite thinking we need to change regimes, despite thinking this quarterback, coach, and GM can't get it done. Despite all of those things, I still predicted a win. But they lost. They let even me down, and my standards are tough. They let even me down by losing today. But I think it's time, and I think, anybody who's not 100% delusional, sure, there could be a miracle. They could go up to Buffalo and win and pull out, some kind of crazy thing, and all of a sudden the fans could start hanging their hats on this possibility or that possibility. I think overall, though, most people are coming around to the fact that this regime and the way we've aligned this organization, the culture, the coach, the personnel, the quarterback, those things are not going to get it done for our Miami Dolphins. And the sooner we move on, the better. I think this guy right here, I think he could have moved on a lot earlier. He could have moved on last offseason. I do applaud the fact that he's having Greer and McDaniel and probably Tua live and die together, figuratively. And if they don't succeed, then I think the plug might be pulled. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the plug might be pulled even before the end of this season. It could be even earlier. But if it weren't for the Patriots, I want to make this abundantly clear. If the Patriots had better personnel and were better able to cover our guys midfield, I don't think we would have even had the day that we had. We were able to beat them with some athletes in the perimeter. And Tua was able to go to his first read. And once we got them off balance and we were going hurry up, if you pay attention, Tua got in a little bit of a rhythm, first read going. I won't take it away from him that at points in that game, he started to see the field a little better. There were some passes where he held the ball a little bit and still found a man downfield. Again, this loss not solely on Tua. The line had issues. The defense had issues. The fact that we trotted out this secondary this year and our highest energy players are really Matt Judon and Rasul Douglas, two guys that weren't even part of the plan. Once the offseason really got underway, they weren't even part of the plan. They were late additions, which I applauded. And you got Minka in there too. But those guys were mostly not part of the plan. So to trot out this team for another year when it's kind of played out and it's been worn out and teams know what's coming, and there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And I think even the most rosy-colored aqua glasses, Tuanier fans out there have to start admitting you could blame it on the line, the coach, the quarterback, whatever. Pick your poison. I think this whole regime from top to bottom is the problem. This whole regime needs something fresh. This whole regime needs to change. It plain and simple. And so we trot up to Buffalo. We see what happens. But, I expected this. Most fans who are rational did. This team is just failing abysmally over and over again. And I think it's just going to be time to turn the page. But final thoughts. I think the Patriots might be on a little bit of an upswing with this coach. I like their energy. That being said, they're nothing special just yet. They're still trying to rebuild. The New York Jets go down in rough fashion to the Buffalo Bills, 30-10. We're going to see the Bills next week. And things just do not get any easier. They do not get any better. And it's going to be a long, long, rough season for the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel with the play. How are we? The play clock still going to zero. Tua's still throwing, interceptions in inopportune times. The line still gives way in the most serious times in the game. We still can't convert first downs. We're still committing penalties at pivotal points in the game. This team, it's over. Just stop already. I've been telling you for a few years, this regime isn't going to get it done. Mike McDaniel ain't going to get it done. Tua ain't going to get it done. Enough is enough. But if you want to stay tuned to objective, legitimate perspectives from guys like me who don't do this full time, I don't hunt for clicks. I just tell you what's what and keep it 100. By the way, welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome to all the new members. We thank you joining us here because, yes, we might be doing rants today when the team's terrible. But as soon as we start getting that new coach in here, we start rebuilding, you're going to see me analyze those things every step of the way. Fury Fam is in it for the long haul. One day we will get there. And until then, click the subscribe button. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers this week, please. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers. Click that subscribe button. Click the join button. Members of the channel get to submit a written column or a video rant every week. I will post it for you if you're an executive member. If you're an executive member like Phil Montgomery. Otherwise, there's a written column that I write. All members have access to behind-the-scenes videos. They have access to my written column every week. And they get priority when we're on the live show, usually Tuesdays. G and I, Two Guys with Glasses podcast. So click, subscribe, become a member. And until then, guys, fins up, I guess. And Larry K is out.